fantastic imperfect people and keep them engaged. Today I want to talk to you about what is employer branding. It's something that everybody talks about, that everybody seems to be a specialist in, and yet actually there are many, many people that we meet who don't quite grasp what it's all about and why you do it. One of the things that frustrates me most is when it's seen as sort of basically a glossy video or a piece of marketing to sell what you do to candidates. Of course it's about recruitment marketing and engaging people, but it's about so much more. I want to encourage you to start by thinking about what matters most in whether an organisation succeeds, fails, or worse still, lives in mediocrity. The answer probably is people. Certainly everybody I engage with understands that the quality of your people really matters. What also matters most though is their connection to you and to your organisation and to your mission. If you want to really drive organisational success, get the right people in the right roles and get them mobilised and engaged and excited about what you're trying to do. When you think about that, that seems pretty obvious, and yet when it comes to recruitment, when it comes to employee engagement, when it comes to really connecting with your people, very few organisations really get proactive about that and give it the energy and the investment that it needs. So think about this: when you need to recruit, you get out there, maybe you chuck a job ad on Seek, maybe you pull out the old one that you used to have years ago, or maybe you write something from scratch. You're consistently going to find that you don't get great results. You attract some reasonable applications, plenty of bad ones, and maybe you find, if you look across your recruitment over a year, maybe you find that you stumble on some good candidates, occasionally you do well, but consistently maybe you fail to meet the mark. So how do we get that right? Well, that's where employer branding comes in. If you think about what matters most in employer branding and what it's all about, it's about connecting with your people. So we always say that employer branding should be 25% about recruitment, 25% about retaining the right people, and 50% about keeping your people connected and engaged and making sure that, frankly, they want to turn up every day and bring everything they have. So if you think about it that way, then we've got to take this really seriously. What is it then that matters most about employer branding? What are the things you should be doing to really ensure that your employer brand works for you? There's really three things. The first is your proposition. Can you really clearly and consistently articulate why you are a great choice for the right people with the right motivations? And can you do that in a way which is real, which is authentic, which is honest, rather than just some marketing copy and some marketing wording that even your own people wouldn't buy into? The second piece is strategy. What's your plan for how you're going to get out there and really connect with the right people? This is what I was talking about just now. If you only care about recruitment when you have a vacancy, you will struggle to consistently get great results. What we need is a very clear plan about how we're going to get out there and get front of mind for our target candidates and target employees as a great place to work for the right people. The third piece is storytelling, and really this brings everything together. The best way to attract the right people and then to engage your current people and to drive pride internally is through storytelling about your people and the impact they have. So it's about proposition, it's about strategy, it's about storytelling, and we're going to break those down for you in another video. So if you have a look below this video, you'll see a link to that. In terms of what that looks like in the day-to-day, I want to talk to you about how we approach employer branding at Employer Branding Australia across that proposition, strategy and storytelling. Well, the first thing that we start with, wherever you are at in your employer branding journey, is insight and understanding. Employer branding is not about creating some nice wording and some nice videos and some imagery and just putting it out there. Quite often we see that when that happens, when you get the sort of brand consultancy or internal marketing people to just sort of plonk some stuff out there, either it falls flat or you oversell, and either way you miss the mark. This is about understanding, first and foremost, why are we a great choice? What is it about our talent offer and the experience that our people get when they work with us? What is it about that that really resonates with them and that really makes them choose to stay and choose to really connect with us? So what we do always is start with research and engagement. As an example, when we're creating the employee value proposition, which is that why work for us and what's it like to be here, we start by talking to your leaders, talking to your hiring managers, your people managers on the ground. We analyse any data you have, so employee engagement data, exit interview data, etc. There's a whole process that we have around really understanding what's happening quantitatively and qualitatively behind the scenes. Most enrichingly though, once we've done that and once we've looked at your brand in market and what you're all about, we talk to your people. Ideally your current people on the ground, but also your candidates, potentially people who haven't been successful, potentially people who turned you down. We want to understand, why do people choose you? Why do they stay? Why do they question their decision at times? And why do candidates apply in the first place? And why might they not accept? All of these things are really important to understand, not just what are the key themes of our talent offer, but what's the angle? Let me tell you a bit more about that. I'm going to give you the example of Make a Difference. Everybody in Australia right now on Seek and in their job advertising and so on is talking about Make a Difference. The charities say it, the governments say it, the universities say it, the investment banks say it, the real estate businesses say it. What does it even mean? You know, in a world where we're being oversold to 24/7, we need authenticity, we need honesty, we need sincerity, and we want specifics. What I'd argue is, if your people really do something important that really makes a difference and impacts people, don't just tell them you'll make a difference. Nobody will believe that in a job ad. Nobody will really be interested in finding out more. The key is this: what's your angle? What does it mean to make a difference here? How does that feel? How do you see it? What do you get out of that? So we bring that to life. We understand those stories from your people, backed up by the data we analyse, and then we craft that into employee value proposition. So we're looking at, what are the key pillars of your offer? What's the key messaging around that? What's the tone? What's the feel? What other messaging do you need? You know, one example is, I always talk about the elephant statement, which is, you know, if there's an elephant in the room, if you've got skeletons in your cupboard, if there's things about you that aren't quite right or aren't quite so attractive, talk about them. So if there's an elephant in the room, point to it, jump on it, put neon lights all around its neck. So that sort of messaging might be about the journey you're on. It might be about the challenges you faced in the past. It might be about, you know, the things you're trying to solve right now. The right candidates, the right employees will connect with that and see that as an opportunity. The wrong ones will be scared off. And if you scare people off by telling them the truth about what it's like to work for you, that's an amazing result. Much, much more important than hiring the wrong person or the right person who's joining you with the wrong information about you. So we're talking here about inspiring people about joining you, but also educating them about the reality. So that's, you know, the starting point. Insight and understanding and research and engagement to underpin the crafting of your employee value proposition. Once we've got that and we've crafted it, I want to bring it right back to the coalface. What does that EVP do in your job ads? What does it do on your website? What does it do on your social media? How do we optimize all of your assets? Think about your candidate journey. You know, when someone applies and you email them, what do you do with that EVP? Not only to, you know, help it live and breathe and help it work, but actually use that as a weapon to increase people's desire to work for you. Just because someone applied, just because they came to an interview, does not mean they're sold on joining you. Frankly, in 2019, 2020, 2021, just getting them to sign a contract isn't enough. They're going to take 2, 3, 4 months to make sure they've made the right decision. How do you connect with those people and really drill it home? So we want all of your assets and all of your campaigns and all of your channels to be optimized with the EVP inside it. And then critically, we want to know, how are we going to keep that alive and keep that living and breathing internally within the organization and externally outside of it for potential employees and frankly for all stakeholders that surround your organization. The way you do that, as I implied earlier, strategy and storytelling. The strategy is about having a plan. We have a plan so that we can deviate from it. We have a plan so that we can flex and be agile and do different things. If you don't have a plan to start with, it's all ideas and theory, and I can tell you right now it won't get done. Our plans and our strategy that we deliver with our clients at Employer Branding Australia are never 60 pages long. Frankly, they never have a glossy front cover. If it's too big and heavy to get out the drawer, that's exactly where it will stay. There are too many strategies out there that just are theoretical. They never get done. What we care about is actionable plans that say, this is what we are going to do over the next 6, 12, 18 months to really get front of mind for our target audiences and really connect with them at a deeper level. Who's going to do it? When are they going to do it? How are we going to measure it? And once you've got that strategy and it's really formulated, and we talk about 2, 3, 4 pages max, it's so easy to then cascade that, to build that, to enhance that with your teams, and to refine it as you go and as you learn more about what works and what doesn't for you. Now to the last bit, storytelling. The strategy is there as a framework, as an engine, as a catalyst for your storytelling. The most powerful thing you can do to attract the right people is to show your current people to the world and to the market. Show what they do, show why they do it, show why they question sometimes whether they've made the right choice. Be honest, and show that you recognize them, show that you value them. Because there's no better way, frankly, to drive your commercial brand and your external stakeholder presence than actually showcasing a truly connected team doing amazing things. So storytelling is about capturing those stories, capturing the insights from what's happening inside your organization and outside of it, and really putting that front and center of your marketing, particularly around talent and recruitment marketing. Some golden rules there. Number one, show your people. Don't use actors in videos. Don't use stock imagery. It sends a huge message that you don't really care and that you don't really get it. You miss the mark immensely. Your people, your current employees, are so much more beautiful than stock imagery. So put them front and center. The best videos, the best written stories that we have seen and that we've put out ourselves are ones that are written either by the employees themselves or see the words of the employees and the faces of the employees front and center, or that truly involve them in the story. So when we can talk about someone's journey in their first 6 months with your organization, maybe when we can have a video that cuts and slices from day one of someone's first day with you, then their second day, then their third day, and maybe then 1 week in. What an amazing story that is, to show what somebody does in their first week or two and how they feel and how connected they become very quickly. That's really authentic, powerful employer branding. Why are we doing all of this storytelling? Because the real nirvana for employer branding, the real goal, is active employee advocacy. It's getting your current people excited and proud and energized about working for you, clear on their contributions. So they're excited about your mission, they're proud to be a part of it, they know how they contribute, and they feel that that is recognized and valued by the organization. There is nothing better than a workforce like that. And when you can show that to the world, and importantly, with that active employee advocacy, when they are showing that to the world on their terms, on their channels, to their networks, when they choose, job done. It's not about big strategic policies and direction around employer branding. It's not about hugely glossy videos that bear no resemblance to the reality of working for you. It's about your people out there on Facebook, on LinkedIn, in an Uber, at a party, saying to their friends, their colleagues, their acquaintances, people they meet, you know what? I love where I work. It might not be perfect. We've got some challenges, but overall, I get so much out of that. When you can get that happening, they do the work for you. At the heart of all of that though, at the heart of all of this stuff, when you reverse right back, it's about engaged employees. So employer branding doesn't start with marketing and gloss and videos. Frankly, gloss should never feature. What it starts with is a real connection with your workforce. So start taking employee engagement seriously. Start talking to your people, asking them, involving them. We run a range of products and services that actually help you do that. But even if you aren't using us or anybody else, find ways to truly connect with your people. If they hate working for you, you shouldn't be worrying about EVP and marketing and videos. You should be worrying about what you actually like to work for and your culture. Incidentally, we can help you with that as well. Once you've got that happening, connect with those people, turn them from engaged employees and connected employees into active advocates for you, and give them the platform to get out there and sell for you and promote your offer to potential employees and to the rest of the world. Last thing I'll say, in all of this stuff, whether it's across proposition, strategy and storytelling, there are 3 things that matter most. 1, be unique, don't just sound like everybody else. 2, be creative, be fresh, be exciting, be relevant. And finally, be honest. For goodness sake, be honest. If you oversell to candidates, to employees, it will come back to bite you. At best, somebody who joins you with the wrong expectations or the wrong motivations, at best they'll leave and you have to recruit again. It is what it is. The worst result, and it's what happens time and time again across Australia and across the world, people sit there for 2, 3, 5, 10 years and whinge and say, this wasn't what I was sold, this wasn't what I signed up for. That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, hugely engaged workforce that are out there selling your offer for you. Good luck with it, give us a call, check out our website. I would love to connect with you.